everyone. This is Mike. Really, everybody calls him River Mike, and he's volunteered to tell us some stories.
Yeah.
So, okay, why don't you start with how you ended up in Alaska? So, back to the beginning.
Came from Oklahoma, 1984. I was just totally tired of doing body work, and just kept thinking, boy, if I could just get to Alaska, if I can just get to Alaska. I didn't know anything about Alaska. I knew it was north of Oklahoma. I knew it snowed a lot and it was cold and there was Eskimos live here. That's all I knew. But I knew there was wilderness, and that's what I was after. I wanted wilderness. I wanted wild country. And this is the only place left where you can have that. So I got this old truck ready, looking for it.
So this blue truck is the truck that you drove up to Alaska in, and you still have it. What year is that? It's a GMC, right?
1961.
1961 GMC.
A friend of mine in Oklahoma put the wood stove in the back of it for me.
So that wood stove's been in there since you came up here.
Yeah.
So now you're up here in Alaska. That was 1961, you said?
No, 1984.
Oh, 84.
The truck's 61.
Oh, the truck is a 60. Did you have it since it was new, or you picked that up used?
Bought it in 82.
82.
Like I said, I did body work. So I always went to the biggest town. You always go to the biggest town because that's where the most wrecks are. So I went to Anchorage when I first got here. Got a job and worked there a couple of weeks and thought, hell, I don't want to be here. People said, I said, I'm going to Fairbanks. They said, oh, hell, you'll freeze to death up in Fairbanks. I said, I don't care. I'm not going to live in Anchorage. So I came up to Fairbanks, went to work for Seekins out here doing body work, and worked there about 6 months, and I thought, damn, I said, this is what I left Oklahoma for, to get away from this shit. So then I just started traveling all over Alaska, just everywhere. I had the truck shipped to Yakutat one time on the barge, and went all over Southeast. And then when I was in the Navy, I had some bad experiences in the water, so I never wanted to be on water again. Didn't like water at all. I saw a guy eaten by a shark one time. That totally turned me against water. But I got up here and a friend of mine saw what I was trying to do, and he said, you're going to have to get on the rivers. He said, you can't do it without being on the rivers. So he took me on a little canoe trip, and I thought, yeah, going to have to get a boat. So I bought a kayak and just went everywhere, all over the state, except around Anchorage. I never go past Talkeetna. I never go any farther south than that. And just started adventuring all over the state, doing this and that, hiring planes to float me into rivers and floating them out. Just everything. Everything you saw about National Geographic, kayaking with whales and everything in the ocean. It was pretty neat. But it was taking all my money because I wasn't working anymore. Float planes cost a lot of money. So I had to come up with something to make money, so I started doing arts and crafts. And they was really popular, so I would travel all over the state selling stuff, telling people stories. And then about 5 years ago, I came out from my camp up on the river and went to a big folk festival down at Anderson. And just hippies and drinking and all this stuff, just people everywhere, people coming out of the woods dressed like zombies. And I told the dog that night, I said, we're out of here. We're not going to be here. So I got the security people to move all the barricades to let me out, because I was selling stuff there. And we came back to Fairbanks, went to Fred Meyer, and I bought all my supplies for the winter, parked the truck in Two Rivers, took my supplies up to my camp by canoe, and said, I'm never coming out again. I'm done. Never going to come out again. I don't want to be any part of that world out there. And that's leading up to the bear story. So I stayed out there for 20 years altogether, because that's where I was living before I decided to just go back there forever. Because that was an adventure too, just to see what it takes to live and how little you can live on out in the woods. So that's why I chose the tent. I could travel all over the state when I was traveling And anywhere there was water and wood, I could live. So that's what I did. And then I went up there and said I was never coming out again. And then my health fell apart on me. When I was 65, I had a heart attack up there. And it's just like you see in the movies. It's like really bad. And no one ever checks on me, ever. Just periodically. See maybe 6 people a year. So I was there for 2 weeks with that heart attack, just really bad. And a friend of mine and his wife just happened to come in and found me. Well, still didn't go to the doctor. I've had broken bones up there, broken ribs, hernias, what else? All kinds of shit happened. Never ever went to the doctor, ever. Just always just hope for the best. And then I got up there, and last May, the back went out on me. And I was totally down, couldn't even move. And then just laid there till July, and that's when the bear showed up. So we can talk about the bear anytime you want to. What happened? So I started walking from the supply tent, and right when I got right here, I hear this something crashing through the brush, and I thought, oh hell, he's heard me, he's gone. He came out of those bushes just like that, stood from me to you. He wasn't standing, he was crouched down. And slammed on the brakes right there, and here we are standing with each other.
So you're basically staring down a bear.
Yeah. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. So he would come up to me, and he would be right here, right next to me. I would take that weed cutter and put it up against his neck to try to hold him back off of me. Well, you're not going to push a grizzly anywhere.